magical hello to all you witches and wizards and Potterheads around the world. We are in today for a very magical, spellbinding Lego build video. Now, as I mentioned in one or two of my previous Lego build videos, it might not always be a big or a large or a medium Lego set. Sometimes it may be like a little poly bag or this new, as I'm looking down on it now, it's in this new lately, like Lego's been more eco-friendly, so the small sets or the old polybag sets as we used to call them, they are now placed in these new eco-friendly bags. But enough of my magical mischief. Before we get to that, let's allow Professor Flitwick to say a few words and to teach us a very valuable spell.
One of the wizard's most rudimentary skills is levitation, or the ability to make objects fly. Do you all have your feathers? Good. Now, don't forget the nice wrist movement we've been practicing. The swish and flick. Everyone? The swish and flick. Good. Oh, and enunciate. Wingardium Leviosa. Off you go then.
Ah, yes. Thank you, Professor. So, as Professor Flitwick just told us, guys, it's all about the... Okay, I'm just going to sit back a little bit so you guys can see. It's all about the swish and flick. If you have your wand at the ready, let's all do one of the best and easiest spells to learn in the Harry Potter world. It's called the swish and flick, or as Hermione, played by the lovely Emma Watson, so eloquently pointed out in the Harry Potter films, it's not Leviosa, it's Leviosa. We're talking about Wingardium Leviosa. So here we go. On the count of three, everybody with their wands at the ready, and first I have to do the swish and flick to you guys. So, on the count of three, guys. 1, 2, 3. Wingardium Leviosa. How's that for a little magic start to the video? So, of course, the set that we're going to be doing today, I'm just going to bring it a little bit closer to camera. So, the set we are going to be building today is a tiny set. You can see it's only 27 pieces, but it's basically Harry practicing Quidditch, and I do believe that if I look at the picture, or as you guys can see in the screen here. So guys, as I'm looking at this picture again, I'm reminiscing about the very first time I watched Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or as it was known in the UK circuit, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, about the very first time Harry actually gets taught Quidditch by a Gryffindor Quidditch legend, Oliver Wood, so who basically explains to him the ins and outs of Quidditch and more or less how the team works and the rules and so on. So I will see if I can get that whole, I know it's going to be quite a long clip, but I will see if I can get that clip into this video. And so we're just going to put Harry down there for now. So guys, like I do with most of my Lego build videos, I always try to give you guys a little bit of background info to make it just fun and informative, and you can be like, hey, but I didn't know that. So here's the fun part, guys. As we all know by now, in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, just after all the students, Harry, Ron, Hermione, and of course Draco, get their flying lessons from Madam Hooch. After Madam Hooch leaves to go to the nurse's office with Neville Longbottom, who broke his wrist, Malfoy, being the little jerk that he is, grabs Neville's Remembrall and flies off on his broom, daring Harry to chase after him on a broom, after Madam Hooch gives them explicit instructions to remain on the ground. Of course, Harry, being the hero that he is, jumps on his broom and chases after Malfoy, and Malfoy, the cunning little... I can't say that word. And Malfoy, being the little bad boy that he is, thinking that because he comes from a wealthy family, he can look down on others and order other people around, he throws the Remembrall directly at Professor McGonagall's office window, and Harry just zooms after the Remembrall on his broom right before Professor McGonagall's office, and Harry catches it like, with such a big smile on his face. And then he flies back down to his friends with massive cheer. And then Professor McGonagall obviously comes out, and she looks to Harry with like almost a look of "you're in trouble, but you're actually bloody brilliant," to quote Ronald Weasley, played of course by the very talented Rupert Grint. And before I continue on, special shout out to Daniel Radcliffe, who brought the boy who lived to life in so many memorable films, which will forever be all the original Harry Potter films, from Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone all the way down to Deathly Hallows Part 2. Now, continuing on with our story. So, Professor McGonagall and Harry walk to Professor Quirinius Quirrell's potions classroom, where Oliver Wood, captain of the Quidditch Gryffindor team, is currently taking a class. And then Professor McGonagall asks Professor Quirrell if she can just borrow Wood for a moment. And then Professor Quirrell, with his little pet iguana, is like, of course, no problem. And then McGonagall, with like a positive grin on her face, is like, "Wood, I have found you a seeker." And then, of course, it's not long before the entire Hogwarts and its halls know that Harry Potter is the new Gryffindor seeker. I do have a lot of favorite Harry Potter moments, but we'll get to that in future Harry Potter videos, whether it be Lego build videos or other Harry Potter merchandise or other Harry Potter videos. So basically it leads into one of my favorite Harry Potter scenes of all time, which is where Harry gets taught the basics, or as we know it in Muggle terms, but I'm of course a Gryffindor first and foremost. So it's basically the ins and outs of Quidditch and how it works, and of course you need to be aware of those little bludgers that keep flying around, and yeah. And Wood is not, like overly aggressive with Harry. He's very kind and gentle, and he basically just shows Harry the ins and outs. Like I said, the ins and outs of how Quidditch works and the rules, and who does what, who looks after what, and where the stuff goes through. So yeah. And with that being said, of course, this is the informative part of the video. So now we are going to be moving on to the building part of the video. So I guess all that's left to... So, witches, wizards, and Potterheads around the world, I guess all that's left to say is Harry, Dreamchaser, and Accio build video.
How about on the roof? What's the matter, Potter? Bit beyond your reach?
Harry, no way. You heard what Madam Hoop said. Besides, you don't even know how to fly. What an idiot.
Give it here, Malfoy, or I'll knock you off your broom! Is that so? Have it your way, then. Follow me.
One such as this is an
You wait here.
ingredient in...
Professor Quirrell, excuse me. Could I borrow Wood for a moment, please?
Oh, yes, of course. The vampire bat...
Potter, this is Oliver Wood. Wood, I have found you a seeker.
Have you heard Harry Potter's the new Gryffindor seeker? I always knew he'd do well.
Seeker? But first years never make the house teams. You must be the youngest Quidditch player in a century, according to McGonagall.
Hey, well done, Harry. Wood's just told us.
Fred and George are on the team too. Beaters.
Our job is to make sure that you don't get bloodied up too bad. Can't make any promises, of course. Rough game, Quidditch.
Brutal, but no one's died in years. Someone will vanish occasionally.
But they'll turn up in a month or two.
Oh, go on, Harry. Quidditch is great. Best game there is. And you'll be great too.
But I've never even played Quidditch. What if I make a fool of myself? You won't make a fool of yourself. It's in your blood.
Whoa. Harry, you never told me your father was a seeker too.
I didn't know.
Quidditch is easy enough to understand. Each team has 7 players, 3 chasers, 2 beaters, 1 keeper, and the seeker. That's you. There are 3 kinds of balls. This one's called the quaffle. Now, the chasers handle the quaffle and try to put it through one of those 3 hoops. The keeper, that's me, defends the hoops. With me so far?
I think so. What are those?
You better take this. Careful now, it's coming back. Not bad, Potter. You'd make a fair beater. Uh-oh.
What was that?
Bludger. Nasty little buggers. But you are a seeker. The only thing I want you to worry about is this. The golden snitch.
I like this ball.
Ah, you like it now. Just wait. It's wicked fast and damn near impossible to see.
What do I do with it?
You catch it. Before the other team's seeker. You catch this, the game is over. You catch this, Potter, and we win.